Welcome back to the channel, everybody. In today's video, we're going to talk about why the haters are so mad when it comes to HEX and what scares them so much. Because at the end of the day, guys, what's really happening inside of a hater's head is what we're going to talk about at the end of the video. So stick around because we're going to explain the HEX narrative from square one. If you're new to HEX and if you haven't been around a while, this is why everyone's so passionate about it. This is why everybody is so gung-ho, and the community is just like nothing else we've ever seen before in this space. It's really remarkable what HEX was able to do in the past, two and a half years, almost 3 years now. HEX has been running flawlessly with 100% uptime, and a lot of people don't respect just how big of a deal that is. When you have things crashing and burning all around us, currently in the crypto environment, everybody's getting wrecked. Celsius, Voyager, BlockFi, all these centralized platforms that are taking your private keys away from you, which is the opposite of why cryptocurrency was invented. These platforms are taking your private keys away and they're managing your money for you on your behalf while you give up your power to a bunch of people you don't know for them to mismanage it into oblivion and essentially just lose all your money. I mean, Celsius is over $1 trillion in the hole right now, in debt with nothing to show for it, filing for Chapter 11 bankruptcy. Companies like BlockFi are having financial troubles, and these guys have been around for years as, a way to earn interest on your Bitcoin. Well, people will pick up pennies in front of a steamroller, essentially trying to make a little bit of interest on their cryptocurrency by literally giving away all of their personal sovereignty and handing over their private keys to a third-party entity. Crypto was invented to get rid of middlemen. Crypto was invented to remove trust, and that's exactly what HEX does. Guys, HEX gives you a trustless way to make yield, right? So the original thought when HEX was being created was that if you're given programmable money, such as ethereum, right, the first program you should make is the interest program or the decentralized yield program. And that's essentially what HEX is. It acts as almost a decentralized certificate of deposit or time deposit. Although it's not technically one of those, right? In the traditional banking system, that's when you give your money to a bank so they can give you a pitifully low interest rate and give you terrible customer service and terrible banking hours. And they have the right to, refuse giving you your own money, essentially. With crypto, you can't do that. With HEX, you own your keys, not your coins is the narrative that Bitcoiners, a lot of them seem to have forgotten. And that's why we're seeing so many people getting annihilated left and right, is because they hand their keys over to centralized entities. So what is HEX? HEX does what Bitcoin couldn't do, and HEX is what Bitcoin was supposed to be. All right, so the narrative of cryptocurrency, all of these different currencies are really just narrative memes that you're choosing to buy into or not. And the strength of the meme has to do with the legitimacy of the ideas and the people supporting them and how well they can communicate that to other people. So if Bitcoin failed as a peer-to-peer digital currency, that's actually okay, because what it landed on was a store of value, and it proved that it set a precedent that crypto could be a store of value, a digital version of essentially gold. And Bitcoin can continue to exist. It can be a digital gold, right? But the next evolution in the whole process is that if we're going to replace all the products at a bank, gold is only one aspect of the centralized, traditional, boomer, financial markets. What's the second most popular product at a bank? It's actually certificates of deposits, time deposits. That's the second most popular product after checking and savings accounts, and it's worth over $7.2 trillion in the US and China alone. So it's a $7 trillion market that addresses a larger market share than gold does, and a larger market share than Bitcoin possibly can, right? Because it appeals to more people looking to earn yield in these inflationary environments like we have today, where the government, the Federal Reserve, essentially prints more and more of the world reserve currency every single day, and they're debasing the unit of account by one guy or a couple of guys, essentially controlling the inflation rate. And you have nothing to do with it. You have no say in it. All you can do is opt out for a better system. So we made a better system. It's called HEX, hex.com. Check it out. And bear with me because I'm going to keep going into the HEX narrative a little bit more so that hopefully you can understand what you're holding or why you might want to be holding something like this. At the end of the day, it's your decision. I'm only somebody relaying the facts, the truth, the information. And I believe, as do many other people that are getting rich right now and financially free by staking HEX, that HEX can be a better store of value. And objectively, it is objectively a better store of value because it is modular one. What does modular mean? It means the code layer is abstracted from the network security layer. So HEX right now piggybacks on the Ethereum blockchain. And so it uses proof of work for its consensus mechanism. And Ethereum's been running fine for a long time now. It's had its issues, but so has Bitcoin. Bitcoin has had 2 inflation bugs in the past. These network layers can be faulty and can have bugs. But when you abstract the code away and you have HEX as a coin that lives on top of the Ethereum blockchain, that's one layer of abstraction that really protects the code, which, mind you, has been audited twice, 3 times actually, by 2 very well reputable auditing companies. And it's never been hacked with 100% uptime, and more importantly, it doesn't have any centralized admin keys baked into the code like a lot of these fake DeFi protocols out there actually have. Believe it or not, a lot of DeFi products that you might be into or you might have heard about have just a couple of guys, a couple of developers that you've never met, that you don't even know half the time, that can change up the rules of the system at any time. With HEX, there's none of that, okay? HEX is a smart contract. It's about 2,000 lines of code that is truly immutable the way crypto was supposed to be. Now, HEX is an immutable smart contract. Again, we've already talked about replacing stores of value, replacing time deposits, and the whole digital peer-to-peer cash narrative, maybe someday. It might even one day become a better peer-to-peer digital cash, just like Bitcoin was supposed to be, because we have Pulsechain coming out. And just like we have HEX living on Ethereum right now, we are soon going to have HEX living on Pulsechain. And Pulsechain's a literal clone of HEX. It's very easy to understand. Deflationary, it burns fees, it's better for the environment, but most importantly of all, it's cheap and fast, making it an actual contender with 3-second block times and sub 1 penny transactions for a digital peer-to-peer cash. And because it's a literal clone of Ethereum, you're minimizing the attack surface in the process by essentially the less things you change on an already functioning product like Ethereum, the safer it is. We're basically just fixing what's wrong with Ethereum, making it cheap and fast, and HEX will now piggyback on that blockchain. But I digress. The whole Pulsechain thing is an entirely different video. So the environment right now, guys, the environment right now in HEX is a lot like what Bitcoin was like in the early days. It's a lot of people that value personal sovereignty and financial freedom, and we're being honest about the reason we're all here. Okay, HEX is one of the only communities. In fact, I think it's the only community that blatantly is truthful about why we're all here. We're here to get rich. We're here to make money. And as a nice side effect, it happens to be a global internet revolution, disguised as an internet Ponzi scheme, so they say, right? It's kind of a funny way to put it, but it's a retail-friendly game right now, whereas Bitcoin is no longer. Okay, Bitcoin has been co-opted by the very institutions that it was designed to rebel against. And so back in the day with Bitcoin, you had a lot of libertarian, anarcho-capitalism mindset people, whereas now, essentially, it's been boiled down to, as far as I'm concerned, a bunch of toxic tribal maximalists that are begging the institutions to pump their bags. They're begging people like Michael Saylor to buy their bags because at this point it's become such a heavy object to move in terms of its liquidity and its price, and there's not a whole lot of billionaires left to buy up your Bitcoin bag. And if you buy Bitcoin today and it goes to 100x, if you buy it today, guess what? That's a 5x. If you buy HEX today at 3 cents and it goes up to $3 one day, guess what? That's 100x. That's 20 times better than the potential with Bitcoin, right? And because HEX is only 2.5 years old, it has all that upwards potential that Bitcoin no longer has, because Bitcoin is reaching the top of what's called its S-shaped adoption curve, whereas HEX is only just getting started. You're right at the cusp. So you're in the right place at the right time. And I love thinking about it from that perspective. So although HEX has lower liquidity right now than Bitcoin does, this is a feature, not a bug. This is an opportunity, actually, if you have the eyes to see it. Bitcoin appreciated the fastest in price when its liquidity was the lowest and when nobody knew about it, when it was pre-viral. Now Bitcoin's a household name. Now people like JP Morgan are buying it up and snatching it up, and they can't wait to sell it to you in the next Bitcoin bull run. And do you want to be the one buying Bitcoin from the powers that be that are scooping it up right now, secretly behind your back? Or do you want to be involved in a new grassroots organic revolution called HEX and the HEX community? Because one thing about HEX and the community at large is that we agree that there can be better technology, that Bitcoin wasn't the end-all be-all pinnacle of technology, just like the DVD player is not the pinnacle of watching movies, right? We have streaming on Netflix, we've got Blu-ray, we've got things that are better, and simply put in the technology life cycle, better technology replaces old inferior technology. And that's okay, and it happens, and it's here right now. It's called HEX, and it's called Pulsechain, coming soon. Both of these things are going to be paradigm shifting in crypto. And speaking of being a better technology, right, the trading environments for HEX are simply better in that HEX is primarily traded on decentralized exchanges, primarily being Uniswap, which is one of the most decentralized exchanges, most well-reputable, and longest-running DEXs out there. Whereas Bitcoin, A lot of people, what they do is they take their money to a centralized exchange where they're at risk of all of a sudden getting hacked or getting their account shut off if, OKX or Binance or Coinbase, if they don't like what you're doing, they can just shut you off. Or we see it all the time. I can go over countless examples over and over of centralized exchanges that have been hacked and lost millions of dollars of customer money. OKX, Quadriga CX, Mt. Gox, Cryptopia, the list goes on and on and on, and I can pull up articles of all this. But people have such a short memory that I want to remind you of how dangerous these centralized entities are. HEX and the narrative behind HEX and the community tries to steer people away from this. I'm trying to steer you into a better store of value that's truly decentralized, again, what crypto was supposed to be. So HEX, the most transparent trading in all of crypto, the most transparent volume because every trade is recorded on the blockchain on a decentralized exchange. If you don't understand what a DEX is, go watch my previous videos. I talk all about it, or I talk about it in my course. But basically, another thing that HEX was designed to do that we are honest and open about, and this I think is why we get so much hate, is that we are honest and open about the fact that HEX was designed to increase in value faster than anything else in human history. And on the last bull run, it actually did that. It made a 10,000x faster than Ethereum did in a shorter time frame. It went higher and faster in a shorter time. And us HEX holders are honest about the fact that most people only buy this stuff anyway because they're speculating on it going up in value. They're speculating on the price. Crypto is a purely speculative instrument, minus the 1 or 2% that might be using it for dark web purchases or doomsday prepping. But let's be honest, nobody's accepting crypto right now at your local store, and maybe they will someday. And hey, wouldn't it be nice to have a bag now, just in case one day you can actually use it to go buy your cup of coffee, like some of these false narratives claim? And we'll take it one further. In terms of being honest, that the only reason people get into crypto is because they want the price to go up. And be honest with yourself about this. Why are you in crypto? You want to get rich. You want to be even better than rich, financially free. And in order to do that, you have to onboard new users. And HEX is very focused on onboarding new users. This is why people hate us so much, is because we are doing a better job. The community is doing a better job. The founders doing a better job of onboarding new people. And Bitcoiners should want to onboard new people into Bitcoin, but they're doing a terrible job because their community is exclusive. They repel people away that might like other things or might have other ideals, or that don't fully agree that Bitcoin is the holiest end-all be-all of technology. And I'll tell you right now, this is a fact that with new users, this is the only way that the price goes up. The price grows with network effects. A network is as valuable as the square of the number of users in the system. This is Metcalfe's law. This is the law of network effects. It's just a proven fact. So the more people we can onboard and adopt into the ecosystem, the more the price can go up and the more everybody can win together. Wealth generation is a positive-sum game, whereas trading, on the other hand, is a zero-sum game. So people don't get this. They conflate the two. We're not trading HEX here. We're buying, holding, staking. We're making staking ladders. And in the meantime, the community, you, me, whoever wants to be a Hexican, can join and onboard the people that they know, and that creates a blossoming effect that has created the thriving community that you see before you today. So we're going to be honest with you. People only buy this stuff to make money, so why not design a coin that was designed to lock up and hold and pay you yield for doing so? And why not design a coin to go up in price and just cut right to the chase? And on the topic of being honest about everything, the community also openly admits that crypto drops 90% every couple of years. Crypto is very cyclical and it drops extreme percentages. But guess what, everybody? The price you pay for these mad gains is extreme volatility. And I have been preaching that since day one. And so does every other Hexican, including Richard Hart. If you don't have the stomach for this, and if a 50, 60, 70, 80, 90% drop will scare you out of it, then this isn't for you at all. You should never be speculating with more than you're willing to lose. And right now, crypto, HEX especially, along with most other coins, are at a 90% discount. And what better time to buy if you believe that crypto's coming back, it's not going anywhere, and it's going to come back harder and stronger than ever in the next bull run, right? Just ask yourself which coins have more potential, which coins are newer, which coins have more upwards price potential. But again, if you want the mad gains, you have to stomach these extreme dips as well, okay? And that's been a fact of life. Historically speaking, people that bought coins with product market fit, such as Bitcoin, Ethereum, or HEX, when they bought the giant dips that they so often have, and HEX has had, over 10 dips greater than 40% so far, over 3 dips greater than 80%. All these have been historic buying opportunities because the price has come back harder and stronger and higher than ever before. And that's only for the people with the eyes to see the long-term vision. So HEX is a long-term game. We're not playing a trading game. We're playing months and years, not days and weeks. If you're looking for short-term instant gratification, you're not going to find it here. So there it is, guys. All of crypto's narrative memes. This is the HEX narrative, okay? And it's stronger because it has better ideas, and better communicators communicating the truth behind it. That's why HEX is so strong. And at this point, I believe it's reached critical mass. I think it's an unstoppable force. The snowball's already rolling down the hill. The avalanche is about to occur once Pulsechain launches. And the whole world, at least the crypto community at first, is going to flip the script about what HEX is. And we're going to start seeing a lot of big names talking about this revolutionary paradigm shift, this walled garden, this Pulsechain, PulseX, HEX ecosystem with the myriad of other projects launching on top of it. We're going to see a paradigm shift. And do you want your seat at the table before the rocket ship takes off? Or are you just going to sit by and watch and buy the top of the next cycle? You have to make that decision yourself. So in HEX, we've got a better community. That's number one, most important. Better founder, better logo, better websites, better tools. We have people building apps and websites on HEX all the time and around HEX in the ecosystem. Things like stakehex.today or Staker app. A whole bunch of choices of ways to visualize, your staking ladder strategy and, so many other things. We're dominating social media. All of us Hexicans, there's over 100 of us on YouTube, more on TikTok and Twitter. It's game over. When you look at HEX Twitter compared to the rest of crypto Twitter, no other community is doing better than us. We are dominating social metrics. And that's actually called divergence in trading. When you see one metric going up while the price is going down, that's very bullish. Social metrics are up across the board. Meanwhile, prices are at discounts like we've never seen before. And on top of all that, I can't forget the infrastructure that's being built around it. The most important piece of all this, the piece that unlocks mass adoption throughout the entire world, is Pulsechain. Because let's be honest, guys, if it costs $20 to $50 to onboard a new user through Ethereum today, and what do I mean by that? Gas fees, right? Gas fees are murdering everybody. They're killing people. It shouldn't cost you $10 to buy Ethereum, another $20 to swap it into HEX, and then another $10 to stake it because of these outrageous gas fees. So Pulsechain fixes all of this. Pulsechain is the on-ramp for the entire world. It's cheap and fast, and once we have fiat integration where you can convert dollars directly to crypto, it is truly game over when it comes to the HEX and Pulsechain ecosystem. I mean, you look around and you see people, everybody in the community is doing their part. I mean, everybody is adding something, and that's because we are self-made. Essentially, it's a self-funding, price-positive feedback loop where the people that get rich on HEX, a lot of them tend to want to tell the rest of the world about it. Believe it or not, all these postcards that you see being delivered in the mail, these physical mail postcards, these giant billboards in the real world, these television ads that you're seeing all over the place, these are all paid for by community members, okay? And if you don't believe me, just go to the hex.com testimonials page. You can see a whole bunch of people making actual video testimonials about how HEX changed their life and made them financially free. We've made more millionaires in a shorter time than any other coin, besides maybe Bitcoin. But again, that community is so old, calcified, toxic, and to me, it's dead at this point. So join the winning team, join the new guys, right? And look at the testimonials, look at the people going crazy about this coin. Why do you think they feel so strongly about HEX and about Pulsechain? It's because it changes lives. And if you want proof of that, it's plastered all over the internet. Go to any one of these YouTube channels, go to any one of these testimonials online. Look what's going on. We've got cars wrapped in, HEX decals. We've got people doing HEX road trips from city to city across the entire United States, teaching the world about onboarding them into a better store of value. We're everywhere, guys. We're simply everywhere. Again, the tools being built, you can check out pulsehotlist.com and see every single app that people are building on top of Pulsechain or around HEX to enhance it. There's a documentary, a Netflix documentary coming out at the end of the year that's going to open up HEX to a huge range of people that have never even heard about it, let alone even heard about crypto in general. I mean, there's big things coming, guys. There's big things coming, and I just wanted to explain that for people that might be new here. So it's about financial freedom more than anything else, okay? That's the whole reason I got into crypto. That's probably the reason you got into crypto too. Now, haters might get mad and they're going to say, oh, well, we have an agenda. Of course we have an agenda. If you don't have an agenda, what are you doing? If you don't have something that you're going for, if you don't have a goal, what are you even doing here? And the HEX agenda is to onboard the entire world to crypto and to make everybody financially free in the process. You might not like our marketing, And haters are going to hate. But at the end of the day, here's why haters hate us. You can tell by the thing they attack. So if a hater attacks you for flaunting money, they're probably insecure themselves about not having any money. If a hater attacks you for promoting your coin, they might feel pretty insecure and inconfident about the particular coin that they're promoting because we're doing such a better job. We're reaching more people. We're having more of an impact on the entire world. And these haters get mad from different angles based on what they personally feel insecure about. But guys, haters, community members, if you're just on the sidelines, we're open to everybody, okay? We don't care who you are. The HEX community welcomes everybody. And if you want to change teams, it's really never too late. It's really never been a better time than to get in on HEX on the ground floor before Pulsechain launches and become one of the OG holders of HEX on the Pulsechain network. So that's my rant for today, guys. I hope you liked it. Make sure to like and subscribe. And again, if you're brand new to crypto, I've got some courses that'll take you from zero to hero in the description below. We've got merchandise and we've got nothing but time in this bear market. Guys, nothing but time to do your research, learn about HEX, learn about how you can change your life and reach financial freedom like I know you want to.